Hey everybody, this is D Hunter for another action figure vehicle review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse The Dark Knight Rises Camouflage Tumbler. This is an Amazon exclusive, at least in the US, but Amazon was taking absolutely forever, missed the release date, they're on back order, delayed, whatever you want to call it. I saw these are in stock at the CMD store, which is a Canadian-based website, for the same price. So I went and ordered them from there. I think the Camo Tumbler is a really cool idea as a repaint for the Tumbler. It's very logical, as Bane had 4 or 5 of these in The Dark Knight Rises. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see, DC Multiverse Camouflage Tumbler. Here are the measurements. This is from The Dark Knight Rises. You can see up top here. It is part of the Gold Label collection. A Gold Label figure is simply a retailer exclusive, whether it be Target or Walmart. This particular Gold Label is an Amazon exclusive. The top, got the same stuff. Camouflage Tumbler, DC Multiverse. One side, Camouflage Tumbler from The Dark Knight Rises. Other side, same thing. At the back, you can see you can seat 2 figures, as we already knew. And it looks like it has some interchangeable parts, different weapons and cannons. At the bottom, you can see the action feature where it opens up. And there's the barcode, in case that helps anybody. So with no further ado, let's open it up. And I did get 3 of these tumblers from the CMD store. You may ask yourself, D Hunter, why would you get 3? Normally get 2, one of which you open and enjoy, one to keep unopened. Well, I'm actually going to open all 3 of these. I want 3 of these Camo Tumblers for my Bane army. I still have a 4th one on the way that I left the pre-order at Amazon. I'll get that one, and I'll keep that one sealed. But for now, we have an arsenal for Bane and his soldiers. Here's the camouflage version of the Tumbler, next to the regular version of the Tumbler that came with Lucius Fox. The regular version is McFarlane Toy Store exclusive, and the camo is an Amazon exclusive. 2 badass vehicles, now in hand. Only difference is, this one's a little bit cheaper because it doesn't come with the figure. I'm surprised they didn't make an exclusive Talia al Ghul to come with it. Some ways disappointed, some ways relieved. Alright, now that this vehicle out of the package, here it is with all the accessories laid out. It comes with a collector's card, but more importantly, it has an alternate weapon. You have 2 different swappable weapons for the top of the Camo Tumbler. One is sort of a cannon with a swivel, and one is a rocket launcher. I think that's a really cool effect. That way, if you get more than one of these things, you can make them look different. That is definitely a pleasant addition, making this a unique piece. So, before we take a look at the Tumbler, let's get some of the dumb stuff out of the way. Here's your collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of the Camo Tumbler. Camouflage Tumbler from The Dark Knight Rises. On the back, a little description. If you want to read that, pause now. And here's a look at the Camo Tumbler's collector's card, next to the original ones. So this is the Camo Tumbler, specifically from The Dark Knight Rises. The Camo Tumbler did make an appearance in Batman Begins, but didn't have a weapon attached. In Dark Knight Rises, Bane stole the Camo Tumblers from Bruce Wayne's armory at Applied Sciences. He had, 5 or 6 of them. But there were 3 together in the final fight, and I've wanted 3 of these things for a long time. I do have some customs of them, but we'll get to that later in the video. Right now, let's take a look at this. So it is pretty much exactly the same thing as the black version, but as you can see, they removed the top fins here and replaced it with a gun. And you can take this gun off and put another one on there, which is really cool. So let's check it out. Now, at first glance, I thought it looked kind of bland, no weathering, but there is a little bit of weathering. You can see some of the darkness around the crevices here, but I don't think it's that well done. But I do appreciate the effort. Now, it looks good. All the different sort of flat pieces, very reminiscent of the film. At the front, we only have 1 window. This one, I guess, is the window here, but it's a different design than the typical Tumbler because it has the gun. Wheels, rubber, they move independently of each other. The back wheels, also hard rubber. 2 pairs of 2, and they move together. Looks good, nice little details. The bottom is pretty much flat. We do have an action feature where you can press it, open it up. Inside, the back, here's the exhaust. It's a cool vehicle to add to the mix, whether you want to use it for Batman's armory or possibly Bane's Armory, or whatever you want to use it for. A closer look at the tumbler. It looks good, but if someone wanted to give this thing a custom paint job, it could make it really, really pop. It just kind of looks a little bland for some reason. I did want to comment on one thing that's kind of bothering me. So, if you look at the side of the tumbler where the canopy connects, you can see this gap here, and it looks kind of ugly. You can see the darkness from the inside, and it kind of looks like that on the other side as well. See this big gap where the canopy connects, and I thought, oh man, did they do a bad job of mine? Is it just bad quality control? Because I can push it down, and it looks pretty good like this. But when risen up, not so much. And I pulled out the old tumbler, and that's funny, I say old tumbler like it's old. It's been up for a month maybe. And it has actually the exact same problem. It's just not nearly as noticeable because the whole thing is black, and the darkness in there is also black. Push it down, looks a lot better. Just something I wanted to point out. It is I guess a quality control issue, but one that's been around since the beginning. Now that I'm taking a quick look at the tumbler, let's check out the measurements. So, how long is it from front to back? About 18 inches long. How tall is it from bottom to top? About 6.5 inches tall. And how wide is it at the widest point? About 9.5 inches wide. Next, let's check out the action features. So, of course, we have these rubber wheels that actually spin. Like I said, the back spins together, and the front, they spin separately. In addition to that, of course, you can put figures inside. So we have the canopy that can open. Little button at the front, it pops right open. You can hold two 7-inch figures comfortably. Bane is a really tall figure, and I'm sure he fits in this thing. Here's a closer look at the inside. 2 seats, one of which has controls here. It is a little bit sort of bland on the inside. It's really hard to get a good shot there of everything. Let me get a better shot of the controls for you at least. Here's a look at the inside panel from the passenger seat. You can see nice detailing on the console in the middle. And here's a look from the driver's side. Also looks pretty cool. Here's a couple of McFarlane Dark Knight Rises Bane figures next to the tumbler, so you can see how they scale up. And then the Dark Knight Trilogy, Lucius Fox, and Batman figures. We have the standard plastic cape version, the platinum cloth wired cape version, and the movie 6-pack cloth cape version. And you don't have to put the cloth one in there, the plastic one will fit just fine. It's very spacious inside this tumbler. Here's a look at those 2 Bane figures in the tumbler. Both the driver's seat or the passenger seat, they fit, no problem. They're a big figure, completely spacious. I mean, look at his head here, there's still almost a full inch of clearance. You could put a pretty large figure in here. His legs are a little bit sort of on the wide side, but not too hard to put them in. And of course, you have complete clearance. Here's Lucius Fox and the plastic cape Batman in here. They fit no problem, but the cloth cape one does fit a little bit better and looks a little more natural. But regardless which one you have, they're all going to fit there. I don't particularly want to put the bendy wire one in there and bend that thing up, but he'll definitely fit as well. And of course, complete clearance. And now let's check out the coolest action feature of all, the swappable weapons. So if you're going to army build this thing like me, you can make them look different, or if you have one, you can make it look different as well. We have 2 options. Number 1 uses these 2 parts. That's a swivel cannon, and then this is a rocket launcher. You can see it's completely broke down with all the removable parts detached right now. Here's a look at the cannon. It attaches, can swivel and raise up. Looks pretty cool. And then we have the rocket launchers, both accurate to the film. I believe in the final fight there were 2 like this and 1 like this. Now I do wish this whole piece would come off and you could attach regular sort of fins to the back. That way you could reenact the Camo Tumbler from Batman Begins as well. Slightly missed opportunity, but still I'm very happy they went with these swappable guns instead of just 1 look. Here it is with the main look. We have the cannon, it's currently dormant, but you can pull it up just a little bit like so. And then you can swivel it, you can hear it sort of ratcheted. You can spin it all the way around, although it's going to get stuck in the fins back there. Now if you pull a little bit too hard, it does come off pretty easily, not a big deal. So you want to get it right between here, and then pulling it off. It looks like it just sort of sits down there, but man, that's a really cool feature if you ask me. And then here's the other piece. This is the rocket launcher, completely covers up the slot for the cannon, and it looks like this from the front. It doesn't have any actual action features moving around, but makes the car look considerably different, and I appreciate that. Now let's check out the differences and similarities between the black version of the Tumbler and the camouflage version. And they're 100% the same vehicle except the paint job, and of course the cannon. The original one has two of these little fins here, and then, of course, the new one has the cannon replacing it on one side. And like I said, I do wish there was an option so you could have it looking normal like this and with the gun, but if I had to pick one look, it would definitely be the gun. Here's a look at all three of those camo tumblers, two of which has the cannon, one has a rocket launcher. And here's a look at all four of these tumblers next to each other. My babies. At Applied Sciences, Lucius Fox is showing off his gear to Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne sees something on the side and says, "Hey, what's that?" Lucius replies, "Oh, the Tumbler? You wouldn't be interested in that." Shortly later, Bruce Wayne's driving with Lucius Fox and asks, "Does it come in black?" Here's a look at Bane with all of his soldiers protecting City Hall in Gotham City. Now let's check it out. Next to some of their vehicles, starting off with some of their tumblers. Here are all three of those camo tumblers that I got. Bane's Arsenal. I always wanted to have three of these camo tumblers in the 6 or 7 inch scale. Many years ago, I had a buddy of mine customize three of the Mattel 5-inch scale tumblers into these camo tumblers. I use them as background vehicles for Bane's Army and Arsenal, but now I have the proper size and actually have three of those camo tumblers in the 7-inch scale and the 5-inch scale. I used to use these as background cars, but now I have the actual cars that can fit the actual figures for the style and scale that I like. Excellent. Then, next to a Mattel Dark Knight Rises 4-inch scale camo tumbler, super small, but holds the super small figures, and it was a very exaggerated rocket launcher on it. And now to check it out, next to some black tumblers that I have. Here's the McFarlane 7-inch scale camo tumbler, next to McFarlane's black tumbler. Here it is next to a Mattel tumbler. This is for the 5-inch basic line, but it's a very odd, ill-built tumbler because it's a big fold-away playset. It's the largest one, and it's really more so intended for the playset than a tumbler like this. It's just a way to fold it up and carry it. And here, next to another Mattel tumbler, this one is also oddly proportioned and flat. This is a fold-away playset for the 4-inch scale figures. Here it is, next to the Soap Studios 1/12 scale tumbler. This is for 6-inch scale figures. It's a 2-seater, but it's for the smaller 6-inch figures. Probably won't fit your Mayfix or Mezco. And now, with a couple more Mattel tumblers. They're both for the 5-inch scale figures. The one on the left opens up and shoots out the Batpod, and the one on the right holds your figure and it launches missiles, has sounds. They're both the exact same size, but the one on the right feels a lot sturdier, a lot better. The wheels feel better. These are the kind that I use to repaint into the other scale camo tumblers. And here's a look at all of my tumblers, a whole fleet. Here's this camo tumbler next to the Hot Toys 1/12 scale, the Bat. This is for 6-inch scale figures, but on the smaller end. Beautiful piece though. Then, next to 4 different Batpods, from left to right, McFarlane, Mattel, Mayfix, and SH Figure Arts. Here's a look at these 3 tumblers next to my 2 cats, Mulder and Baby. Now let's check it out. Next to some of the McFarlane DC Multiverse vehicles. Here it is, next to the recent White Knight Batmobile. Then, next to the 89 Michael Keaton Batmobile. The one for the Flash movie on the left, the one for 89 film on the right. And now, next to both versions of the Batmobeast. McFarlane has also been making vehicles for a slightly smaller scale, Batman the Animated Series. These are for 6-inch scale figures. Here's the 7-inch scale tumbler, next to the Batmobile and the Jokermobile. 2 fantastic releases. Here it is, next to the Hot Wheels 1/10 scale, Robert Pattinson, the Batman Batmobile. Then, with the Mattel 1966 Batmobile. And now, next to the Mattel DC Multiverse Ben Affleck Justice League Batmobile. This is not the radio-controlled one. And finally, next to the Mattel 2005 6-inch scale Batmobile. Now let's check it out. Next to some Batman figures from different various companies, so you can see which lines will work with this tumbler. And I'll tell you, it'll fit anything from your small 6-inch figures to your large 7-inch figures. Hell, it might even fit 8-inch stuff, but I don't collect that. We already saw that it holds the Dark Knight trilogy Batman and Lucius Fox, no problem. Here are a couple of other McFarlane Batman figures. The Nightfall Batman, a little bit on the smaller side of things, and the Hush Batman on the larger side of things. These both have their plastic or rubber type capes on them, so let's see how this works. Here they are on the Tumbler. They fit just fine, even with their plastic capes. You got the Nightfall Batman in the driver's seat, and Hush Batman with that giant plastic cape in the passenger seat. Probably would be able to fit Hush in the driver's seat as his cape is just so big it'd be hard to fit it around the controls and stuff. But they both fit in. Ton of extra space. And complete clearance. Here are a couple of DC Direct Batman figures. They both have plastic capes and fit. No problem. Here are a couple of NECA Batman figures in this car. Complete clearance. And here are a couple of Mezco Batman figures in there. They fit just fine. Here are a couple of Mattel 6-inch scale Batman figures, even with their rubber or hard plastic capes. Might look a little awkward, but they fit, no problem. And now, with a couple of Mafex Batman figures. Excellent fit. And finally, with some SH Figure Arts Batman figures. And of course they're going to fit. It's the smallest Batman line that I collect. So overall, really enjoying these camo tumblers. They're not perfect. They honestly could use a better paint job, but that's typical with pretty much all the McFarlane releases. For the longest time, I wanted to have 3 camo tumblers for my collection. And I wanted them for the 6-inch scale. That was what I collected mostly back then. And I settled for the 5-inch ones being repainted, and they are great pieces. Excellent custom work, and they're great background pieces, but you can't actually put the figures in them. I collect 7-inch scale mostly now, and these tumblers can actually hold my figures. So for me, these are something pretty special. I've been wanting 3 of these for a long time, and I'm very pleased with what we got. The only complaint I would have, I wish you could make one into a regular tumbler without the gun, an extra little fin piece, but I guess that would require you to have almost a whole other canopy. Either way, I'm really happy with the swapping weapons. I think that's a great touch. You make them both unique. So, sculpt and paint job, it's good. Could be a little better. The action features, fantastic. The wheels feel good. The seating is excellent. It can hold any figure you could ever almost imagine in this thing. Within reason, that is. And the guns, chef's kiss. If I were to rate this thing, I'm going to have to give it an 8 out of 10. Really enjoying it. I don't know what I rated the regular Tumbler. I had to rate at least like an 8.5. But I'm really enjoying these things a lot. Say I rated the original Tumbler at 8, these should probably get a 7.5. But I'm going to elevate that. Original Tumbler 8.5. These guys solid 8. Now this is not for everybody. A lot of people don't need a camo tumbler, and I totally understand that. But for me personally, I've wanted 3 of these for a long time, so it's right up my alley. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure videos from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.